Welcome back to the grind. In this video, we are going to talk about the SunScorch Season Wave 2 Legendary Earth Warrior Ozydias. And the rider of the second wave will be in a separate video once we have the release of the tree for the skills. So let's get into the spells of this Legendary Earth Warrior. The first spell is Blight, which is a white active 1 range spell, which gives the dragon a shield that absorbs all damage and mage tower super shots. So you get pretty good protection from this spell. Now this shield will likely be broken by ice flags and howitzer tower super shots. It will last 4 seconds, and after it expires, it will apply a mark to all towers that once destroyed will restore half a bar of rage. So that's pretty significant amount of rage if you can apply it to all towers and destroy them in a reasonable amount of time. But that is where the problem will come in, and we'll explain that later. After the spell expires, it will have a 3-second cooldown before you can use it again. The next spell is a white active 2 rage spell called Corrode, and it will damage all towers in a target area and will freeze them for 4 seconds. Now this target area, I believe it is approximately big enough to hit 2 to 3 towers depending on which island and which section you are attacking. Now, I was really hoping that Corrode would be more like a flash freeze type spell where it would just hit all the towers instantly on that island, but unfortunately it is a target type spell that you cast similar to the meteor on Hyaku. So unfortunately this spell is similarly disappointing as it was when Hyaku's came out. It wasn't what I was hoping for, but it does do a fairly good job at disabling and damaging a select number of towers, so you have to choose which ones you want to attack with it. And then Desolation is a red active 1 rage spell, which is basically a lightning, and it bounces to 2 additional towers. And it does a fairly significant amount of damage. And finally, a dark flak resist. So you can leave the dark flak to destroy last. So with this warrior, Ozydias, you have to use Corrode while coming around the corner and disable and damage the red mage as well as any neighboring towers. Now this is challenging because if the red mage is in front and the ice flak is in the back, then you really have to disable the ice flak, otherwise your shield will be destroyed. And you really do want that red mage down so that you can use Desolation to deal some extra damage. So what I feel like would be best is to use Blight before the turn or on the turn so that you have a little initial protection when you cast your first Corrode, but then it expires, allowing the towers to have that additional rage mark. Unfortunately, this dragon does not have a way to boost his breath damage, so he really relies on spell damage, which is difficult with the high rage cost. So you do want the rage marks to be on every tower that is destroyed. So that will be challenging to make the timing work. And after the first Corrode and Blight expires, putting the rage marks on, then you want to use Corrode again to either freeze the towers again or use it as a final destroying blow to destroy 2 to 3 towers depending on which section you're attacking. If you can do this before a defender heals the towers, then you might be able to clear those 2 to 3 towers and get some rage back. And if the red mage is one of them that you destroy, then you can use Desolation to help in destroying the remaining towers on the island, because it does do a pretty significant amount of damage. If you're attacking equal tower strengths with no HP boosts or the mythic dragon boosts, it should destroy it with 1 shot or close to it, allowing you to easily finish it off with the breath damage. But with a defender, unfortunately, I think this dragon will really struggle to deal enough damage to get through the defender's heals and HP boost, especially without an increased breath damage boost. It will take a long time, or potentially use all your rage just to get through that red mage, and then you're still left with 2 to 3 other towers that you can't really do a whole lot against. So this warrior will heavily rely on rage regeneration and HP because the spells scale off HP, and he relies on his rage to deal damage. And if you can time the Blight to allow you to get that additional 0.5 rage off of every tower that you destroy, then you will be able to utilize this dragon a little bit better, but it will be challenging to make that work. Now, Ozydias's runes and glyphs will increase Desolation damage as well as increase warrior HP. I would actually prefer it if it increased the damage of Corrode, because that is the primary offensive spell, since you require that spell to get through the red mage. Once the red mage is down, it'll be a little bit easier. So potentially this dragon's a little bit better as a cleanup dragon, but if that red mage is not down, you can't use Desolation. And if you can't use Desolation, it doesn't matter how much damage it does. But I still think this warrior has some potential for being a fun warrior to fly against equal tier bases. Perhaps at lower tiers, it'll be a little bit more useful, because it seems like the scaling of the dragon's usability is a little bit more flexible at the lower tiers. So if you're a newer player, then this dragon might be more useful, especially because it is half price. So I definitely recommend everybody getting this dragon if you're working towards a mythic, or if you're a newer player that cannot earn that many sigils throughout the season. If you earn a lot of sigils and you aren't going for a mythic, or you've already gotten your mythic, then you can be a little bit more picky about which dragon you get or which line you get. But the half price rewards in this line are really worth it. So I'm definitely going for this dragon, so I'll be able to make some gameplay of that when I have him. So I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.